Okay, so we're sitting here with Chris Classic.
What up? What up?
The original Classic Man, but we'll talk about that another time. Couple things we want to talk to you about. We appreciate you sitting down with allhiphop.com.
No doubt. Glad to be here.
First of all, Chris, coming from a family that is pioneering of hip hop, is there any pressure on you to excel in the music that you make? I mean, that's Rev Run like helped raise you. That's right. Serious.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say any pressure, thankfully. And my relationship, with my uncle is very much kind of like a second father. And I think the benefit of having an access to someone like him is, more beneficial to me than any sort of industry or music or entertainment related relationship.
100%.
Being a dad, I learned from one of the best dads that I know. Being an MC, I learned from his crowd control or him caring about the audience's experience when seeing him perform. And I think, honestly, being so close while he was performing kind of, raises a red flag with me, which is why I haven't done any shows in a long time, just because I want it to be an experience and something that is kind of different, where you see that person has crowd control. That person is, I'm experiencing something. It's a feeling. It's not just a dude who's standing in the front with a microphone in a city like New York where there's half the audience that wants to be on the stage too. Right. So, I think there's no pressure. If anything, it's all bonus.
Okay. All right. I love that answer. Let's segue into the whole MC thing, because there are people who, like me, have known you for a long time now who had no idea that you were actually not just making this amazing music that you've heard on Empire and all these other places at this point,
right,
but the fact that you're actually rhyming and doing what was the whole thing with all these verses that dropped out of nowhere out of the clear blue?
I think I had to get out of my own way. It's kind of like there can be an artist, a painter, a visual artist who knows that he or she can make something amazing. But when they look at all of the pop art that is around and what's getting notoriety, they may say, I'll just hold mine off to the perfect moment when all of the cool collectors at Art Basel are watching. But that moment doesn't necessarily happen like that. So I think for me, I was waiting for the perfect storm. Well, there's going to be this time that, I'm going to have this song and it's going to go from being on a show to being on the radio. I can't wait for that. I can't save those verses. I can't save that expression for a perfect moment, because it doesn't necessarily happen where a perfect moment is given to you. You have to kind of create it. So, I just was feeling stagnant.
Okay.
And, as far as myself goes. And I just got tired of making music only for film and TV, where everything is, very commercialized. It's very pop. It's very Disney. It's very, Alvin and the Chipmunks. And, that's cool. That's how I'm able to make a living. But as far as my personal expression, being in a room with a bunch of people in a cypher and everyone's rapping, and it's kind of like, I would sit there and just watch, and hearing bars that I thought were subpar and everyone's being congratulated and, hyped up. It was just kind of like, all right, I get it. I get it. And I didn't want to take them so seriously, which is why I didn't make just full songs. They were just 16-bar verses, and it felt like a song just because of the construction of a story in one verse.
Right.
So I just kind of treated it like features on, if I did 10 or 20 in this case, features.
Right.
So, I just had to get out of my own way.
Yeah, but see, it'd be one thing if they weren't good.
Right.
But like they actually rhymed and there is a
Well, yeah, that's what
scheme. That's the point.
Yeah.
I know, but that's not necessarily what happened.
Yes,
so
that is true.
it was
That is
definitely ooh worthy
Right.
if we'd have been like in a cipher
Right.
situation.
Thank you.
So I have to ask you, once you put it out there,
Mm-hmm.
what was the response? Were most people shocked? Like, wait a minute,
yeah.
this is the dude from Instagram that's like cussing us out for not responding properly,
Right,
or
right.
you know, saying stuff that only should be said after midnight or whatever.
Right.
Whatever the reason, they're all following you.
Well,
so what was that?
I think most people's response was most like yours, where it's kind of like, well, I didn't know you did that. And I think that is a part of being a human who has layers. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you always saw a dude and he had on nice jackets and sweaters, you may not know that he was diesel under there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or a woman who dresses conservatively and then you see her on the beach and it's just like, damn.
Yeah.
You know, why are you hiding it?
Right.
And it was, well, because it's not for everybody at a certain time. And for me, you know, I want to write a book. I want to, you know, well, I'm in the middle of writing a book. I want to do a fatherhood tour. As an artist, it's very hard to segue into something in public opinion because everyone pigeonholes you into being that thing.
Right.
So, you know, to not be a celebrity and have the social media following that I do, it's kind of like, well, people follow me, if you will, for other reasons. It's not because I'm a rapper who has a hot song. So the fact that that following is there and then adding my artistry to it, it's kind of like, okay, you can accept that as opposed to the other way around.
Right.
You know, what's this rapper going to tell me about being a dad? What's this rapper going to tell me about my relationships or, you know, how to treat women or whatever it may be. So, yeah, I think, you know, it's all layered on purpose.
Okay, now you know I have to ask this.
Mm-hmm.
Please forgive me. I have to ask you this.
Uh-huh.
Did the girls freak out?
You know, about me being in a relationship?
No. I know they freaked out about you being in a relationship. We already know that. Did they freak out about, wait, he's a rapper too?
Yeah, I yes and no.
Okay.
Just because the type of songs that I made weren't, you're not going to twerk to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I had some hot song that equates to hot club appearances, that equates to a hot video and notoriety. And, you know, my music doesn't necessarily dictate that at this point.
Right.
So I don't think anyone, you know, freaked out or looked at me as, you know, a better catch, if you will, based on that. I think, if anything, it added to, you know, the layers of what they may have thought of me as a creative person.
Oh, so he does all this and that too.
Right.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm thankful for that, because then that, you know, I'm well-rounded and not just, you know, someone who's, you know, hot currently at the moment.
Chris, you got groupies for your mind. You got groupies.
I'm
all
right
with
I'm all right with groupies for the mind, because groupies for the mind equate to being able to, you know, monetize what you want to do in the future, 100%. You know. So if
I'm not dissing it, I'm saying like you got them for your mind.
I'm good with that.
It wasn't so
that's long term.
They were grouping for you for being on the mic on top of it would not be a shocking phenomenon.
Right. No. I'm thankful for everything just the way it is.
If you say you need girls for a video, I'm quite sure there are plenty of them that are going to show up.
Yes, but it won't be the typical video, which is why they'll be willing to show up.
And there it is, and that's why you're Chris Classic.
Yes.